There's a video making rounds right about now, about a white police officer in America who shot a black man in Kenosha, in Wilkinson, 7 times. He shot a black man in Kenosha, Wilkinson 7 times. Why? The man was trying to get in his car. I think there was a report about something relating to domestic, whether domestic violence, whatever domestic issue the police attended to. So you can see a black man walking ahead of the police officer who pulled a gun at him. It was 2 police officers who pulled a gun at him from behind, because the black guy was in front of them. Just in case you haven't seen the video. So, and then he opened his car, the door of his car, the driver's side, intending to get in his car. As soon as the black man opened the door of his car, bending over to sit in the driver's side, he was shot at 7 times, point blank. He was shot at 7 times by the white officer that was behind him. This is cruelty. This is so wicked. The black man had nothing on. He was not carrying a weapon. The black man was neither resisting any arrest, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they were making an attempt to arrest him. Maybe they just wanted to question him. And he was trying to walk away. He wasn't listening to the officer, I believe, according to what you can see in the video. According to what you can see in the video. And also, it was said that the black man's children is a father. I don't know how many kids he has, but he has 3 of his children inside the car. And he was shot at right in front of his children. He had 3 of his children right there. They witnessed the shooting. 3 little kids. They witnessed the shooting. This is bizarre. This is crazy. And right now, the officers are currently suspended, awaiting investigation as to what happened. So there's already been a protest already. Protest has erupted in whatever city it is, in Wilkinson, the community where this happened, Kenosha. Protest has erupted. And as we all know, there's been this is just the ones that is making the headlines. This is the ones that is making the news. There have been several deaths relating to several racial motivated killing by white police officer. Several racial motivated killing by white police officer in America since George Floyd. Since George Floyd's murder. A man who was killed by police officer. So, this is barbaric. This is this is disgusting. 7 times he was shot. I'm glad he didn't die. He was rushed to hospital and is currently making recovery. I heard he's in a stable condition. He's currently making recovery. I don't know what could have been the provocation or the reason behind the shooting. The reason for the aggravation, because it looks like the officer releases 7 shots to his back. Releases 7 shots. Someone who is defenseless. Someone who had no weapon. Someone who was not resisting, who didn't resist arrest. Someone who was just being an ordinary person. So that tells you the rate of the racism going on in America. So that tells you the rate of this racism of the thing against black people. Will it stop? No way. It's never going to stop. Would it cease, decrease? Would it decrease? Yes, it will. It will decrease. It will decrease. I think George Floyd murder shocked the whole world. Shocked the whole world. Everybody responded. Everybody responded. All race, white, black, Puerto Rican, people responded, and there was so much race in the demonstration that took place everywhere across the world. You're going to wonder if America is deliberately recruiting killers as officers of the law. If America is deliberately recruiting criminals and killers as officers of the law. The question is not a strange question, and the answer is obvious. The answer is obvious. Targeting at the black community. Targeting at the black community. What I think, to the black people, to the black Americans, the only way which I believe this will ease up. Easing up does not mean going away. For whatever race, there's always going to be, whatever color you are, race you are, there's always going to be minority or minor percentage of discrimination against your race, against your background, or it might not just be the race, it might just be, you understand, there's always going to be discrimination. You understand, the Jewish in America, I believe minority, little percentage still get discriminated. Little, but that is just literally like normal, because you cannot eradicate evil completely away from the land. That is normal. But when it gets to a certain percentage, when it gets to a certain ratio, then it becomes worrying. So people start growing concerned. So this is exactly what I'm trying to say. Now, the rate of black people getting killed by police officers in America have just escalated. I've increased, double up, triple in the last few years. It's getting worse. It's not reducing. Obviously, there was this particular year, about 4 years ago, 5 and 4 years, in a space of a year plus, the number of black deaths, number of black people murdered by officers was excruciating. But now the number is picking up again. It's shooting high again. So what I'm saying now, for the black community, is a cause for alarm, because this number is shooting up by the minute. It's really shooting up by the minute. And what could be the solution to this? No matter our demonstration, no matter our protest, no matter whether we're making a petition for the law to change, to see, all that can also be helpful. All that can also be helpful. All that can also be helpful. But it's not going to be the main cause why this racism or these killings of black people by the law will go away. It's not going to be the main cause. But I'll tell you now, the main cause is going to be for us to position ourselves, for the black Americans to position themselves, for them to come together, for them to empower themselves, for them to create their own economy, for them to create their own economy. Create their own economy. Yes. What I mean, create their own economy. Obviously, a country has one economy. You understand what I mean? Among the black community coming together to creating their own economy, that will protect black race in America. This should be the way forward. This can only be the real solution to this problem. So now, how can they create their own economy? Creating their own economy by creating their own education, building schools, building schools, building hospitals, having their own insurance companies, building their own financial institutions, banks, having other entities, businesses, empowering each other, supporting each other with loans, individual, group of people. So this is what I mean by having their own economy, building their own economy. Right now, is it without money? Anyone who has money hardly have a say. Say, yeah, we know they say freedom, we say human right law. Human rights have limit to its protection. Human right law have limit to its protection. The Jewish people in America, the number of blacks in America tripled the number of Jewish people. But can this happen to a Jewish man in the state? No way. This cannot happen to a Jewish man. Like a Jewish man getting killed once, getting killed the second time, another one getting killed again. No, they can't. Why? Because these people have power. These people have financial backings. They are rich. They are wealthy. They have created them wealth. So therefore, they are structured. You cannot mess around with them. Anyone who does that will wait for the consequences because they are powerful. What makes someone becomes powerful? Do you think it's only by being educated? The major thing that makes you powerful is your financial backings. It's how much you're worth. So black communities, we don't have structure. We don't have no financial backings. Considering the fact that we do our own thing individually, we don't support each other. So in America, this is the only thing that can bring about changes. You cannot just mess around with the son of a wealthy man and expect to get away with it, except maybe he commits a crime. You can't just mess around with him and expect to get away with it. It's not happening. That will break you down. And in this group of people, our mission, other race, Jewish, Chinese, you can't oppress them. Why? Because they have financial backing. They are rooted. Black people are individual. You cannot compare group, communities who work together, comparing to people who are individual. Who is going to fight for you? Apart from coming out chanting, hey, we want freedom. Hey, we want justice. Hey, we want this. Enough is enough. Yeah. The law might just, consider certain things. Okay, let's change this to favor them a bit. But then they are still holding you guys by the neck. They are still holding us by the neck. They are still holding us by the neck. That's what makes us feeble, because we have no financial structure. When we do not have financial structure, we cannot fight. We cannot fight the elite. We cannot fight the powerhouse. Just like a country like Nigeria fighting China in a war. It doesn't make sense, does it? Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So that is the thing. That is the thing. It's not by the number of black people who lives in America, reside in America, but it's what we possess. It's what we possess. When we do this, create our own economy, come together, work hand to hand, create our own community, economy, building our schools, building our own hospital, having our own insurance company, having our own banks, loaning money, just dealing with ourselves, only with ourselves. America will be shocked because they will be losing so much. A lot of industries are going to suffer when we do this. They will suffer. And then we create wealth within ourselves. So with the wealth we create within ourselves, plus the spirit of love, togetherness, we will start fighting for each other. If you touch one of us, means you touch all of us. So we'll be sticking out, watching out for each other, fighting for each other, standing by each other. So you will see that these people will respect us. They will no longer be messing us about, tossing us about, just like the way they've been doing for the past decades. This is just what I had to say, and this is my take. God will help us that we get to achieve this, because otherwise we're just gonna be a second class or third class, whatever class citizen, the black people or fall under us. They're just gonna remain there. They're just going to remain there. That's why supremacy is still gonna hold them by the neck. All right. So this is my take. I'll catch you guys. Respect, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Alfred Talk 101. Alfred Talk 101. AFRITALK 101. All right then. Stay pute. One love.